This is Pulse of Africa, the face and voice of Africa. The story of resurgent and burgeoning Africa is here, only on the Pulse of Africa channel. Pulse of Africa, the face and voice of Africa.
Hello and welcome. I am Tansai Gabriel with Pulse of Africa News, keeping you connected to Africa's latest developments and insights. South Africa and Switzerland signed 5 landmark cooperation agreements aimed at deepening ties in trade, education, culture, sustainable development, and peace mediation. The signing took place in Bern during President Cyril Ramaphosa's 2-day state visit to Switzerland at the invitation of President Karin Keller-Sutter. The ceremony followed high-level talks at the Bernhof, where both leaders reaffirmed their commitments to expanding collaboration at bilateral and international levels. The agreements include cooperation on peace mediation and democratic resilience, vocational education and training, modernizing the EFTA's SACU Free Trade Agreement, urban sustainable development, and cultural and heritage exchange. President Ramaphosa praised Switzerland with warm hospitality and highlighted the growing partnership between the two countries, calling the visit a historic moment for strengthening cooperation. Both governments described the visit as a new chapter in South Africa-Switzerland relations, focused on promoting innovation, sustainable development, and shared prosperity. Global climate and disaster risk experts convened in Windhoek, Namibia for the Climate Change and Features in Africa Conference Series 2025, aimed at crafting community-driven strategies to tackle the continent's growing environmental challenges. Opened by the Namibian Prime Minister Elijah Nugrare under the theme Risk in Time and Space, the 3-day summit focuses on community-based research to strengthen local resilience against climate threats. Nugrare warned that climate change is now an everyday reality threatening livelihoods and infrastructure, noting Namibia's vulnerability due to the arid climate. He said the government's 6th National Development Plan seeks to reduce the number of people living in high-risk areas by nearly half by 2030. The event underscores the call to fund resilience, not disasters, promoting innovation and investment in climate adaptation across Africa. Africa is one of the continents most affected by climate change, despite contributing the least to global greenhouse gas emissions. Across the continent, governments are stepping up efforts to strengthen climate resilience through renewable energy expansion, sustainable agriculture, reforestation, and improved disaster preparedness. Rwandan Prime Minister Justin Nsengimana met with U.S. Secretary of Energy Chris Wright in Washington, D.C. on Wednesday to strengthen collaboration in nuclear energy, natural gas, and critical mineral processing. The talks build on the 2024 Memorandum of Understanding between Rwanda Atomic Energy Board and the U.S.-based Nano Nuclear Energy to develop small modular reactors and microreactors as part of Rwanda's energy diversification strategy. Under the National Strategy for Transformation for 2024 to 2029, Rwanda plans to expand the use of nuclear technology in health, energy, and agriculture to meet growing industrial and consumer demand. The government projects national energy capacity needs to reach 3,788 megawatts by 2035 and nearly 14,000 megawatts by 2050.
El Dorado, a land of wealth, a future of limitless possibilities. This is El Dorado. From natural rich to groundbreaking innovations, discover Africa's untapped potential. El Dorado, unveiling Africa's global potential.
The African Union announced a $30 billion investment plan to modernize Africa's aviation infrastructure under the Single African Air Transport Market during the 3rd Financing Summit for Africa Infrastructure Development. AU Commissioner for Infrastructure and Energy, Lerato Di Matabog, highlighted aviation as a key driver of continental integration and economic growth, aligned with Agenda 2063 and the AFCFTA The plan addresses a projected tripling of passenger traffic from 160 million in 2024 to nearly 500 million by 2050. The strategy focuses on upgrading airports and aerodomes, modernizing communication, navigation, and meteorological systems, and leveraging public finance to attract private and institutional investment. It also incorporates advanced technologies and renewable energy solutions to enhance efficiency, sustainability, and continental airspace integration. Africa's aviation sector has long faced infrastructure gaps and outdated airports, limited air traffic management systems, and fragmented airspace hindering growth. The Single African Air Transport Market, launched in 2018, aims to liberalize air services across the continent, improve connectivity, and promote economic integration. Modernizing aviation infrastructure is critical to achieving these goals and support Africa's broader economic development goals under Agenda 2063 and the African Continental Free Trade Area. Sierra Leone's President, Julius Maada Bio, called on local and international investors to tap opportunities in Sierra Leone's agricultural sector. Speaking at the inaugural Sierra Leone Agri-Food Investment Summit, President Bio emphasized that the country's vast arable land and potential to feed over 400 million consumers in West Africa. He urged investors to create jobs, boost exports, and strengthen food systems in key sectors including rice, cassava, poultry, cocoa, and coffee.
It is a call to secure our nation's dignity through the power to feed ourselves, create jobs, and build prosperity from our own soil. Today, we present Sierra Leone's agriculture and food sector as open for business, full of opportunities and promise. I want to assure you that my government is committed to building a modern agri-food economy that is powered by the private sector investment, local enterprise, and global partnership. Our nation offers competitive advantages for doing business in Sierra Leone, especially in the agriculture sector.
He emphasized tax incentives, transparent laws, and regulatory reforms to build a modern, self-sufficient food economy. The summit also highlighted over $2 billion in foreign investment commitments, lower interest rates, and strengthened government-private sector partnerships aimed at transforming Sierra Leone's agricultural landscape. Ethiopia and the European Union have signed a €90 million financing agreement for the 2025 Annual Action Plan, supporting the country's economic reforms, post-conflict recovery, and sustainable development initiatives. The agreement formalized in Addis Ababa aligns with Ethiopia's priorities, including land governance, nature conservation, women empowerment, and climate resilience under the Green Legacy Initiative. Ethiopia's State Minister of Finance, Samreta Sawaso, said the initiative carries both symbolic and strategic value, representing another milestone in the long-standing partnership between Ethiopia and the European Union. Sophie from Emmisberger, EU ambassador to Ethiopia, said on her part that the AAP aligns with Ethiopia's homegrown economic reform agenda while contributing to the broader global gateway strategy. It emphasizes pivotal initiatives such as strengthening land governance, enhancing nature conservation, empowering women, and supporting migrant integration, each vital to ensuring sustainable development. Now to business news. The African Development Bank has approved $75 million in financing for the Nyanza Light Metals to develop an 80,000-ton per year titanium dioxide pigment plant in the Richards Bay Industrial Development Zone in South Africa. The funding includes $25 million from Africa Growing Together Fund, a joint initiative with the People's Bank of China, and reforms part of a large syndicated package arranged by the Africa Finance Corporation and African Bank. The AFDB President Solomon Kouanor said the investment reflects the bank's commitment to transforming Africa's industrial base and reducing dependence on raw material exports. The project will process locally and regionally sourced titanium ore, creating 2,400 construction jobs and 850 permanent skilled positions, with significant opportunities for women and youth. The project will also mark a turning point for Africa's industrial future by promoting local minerals beneficiation, reclaiming value, and building a sustainable industrial economy that empowers communities and drives inclusive growth. Nigeria's parliament on Wednesday approved President Bola Tinubu's request to borrow $2.85 billion from international debt markets, including the country's first ever issuance of a sovereign sukuk. Tinubu had earlier asked Parliament to approve a new international borrowing and authorize the issuance of 500 million debut sovereign sukuk. The new funds will be used to part finance the budget deficit and refinance maturing Eurobonds due in November 2025, the president said. He added that the borrowing could be done via the Eurobond market, loan syndication, bridge financing from book runners, or directly from international banks. Next, let's check the current weather forecast. Thanks for joining us on Pulse of Africa News. Keep following us for more stories that matter across the continent.